The Sports Town Podcast.
Let's talk more about what's going to happen this offseason. Now, you mentioned you're a Miami Heat fan, and it feels like, and I've heard this from a lot of people, and I think it was mostly from Cruz Broussard from Fox Sports. He mentioned that the Miami Heat need another star to pair with Jimmy Butler. Who do you think they could get? And I guess they could get Kawhi Leonard. There's been a lot of rumors about him going to Miami. I personally think he's going to stay with the Clippers. But what do you think the Heat need to do this offseason in order to get back to what they were in the bubble?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of rumors, and this is what Heat fans like to get into, Knicks fans even like to get into. It happens more often than what the Knicks have done, just because we fell out in 2017 to like Gordon Hayward, KD. So we've had our fair share again with Jimmy coming. What was it, 2 summers ago? That's been something that's kept our hopes high in terms of like getting another free agent. I don't know. I wouldn't really. I've been telling people like I'm not really getting my hopes up, because I think like there's a better opportunity in the trade market in terms of like who we can get there. Because as far as our cap situation goes, it's just kind of like we can get rid of Goran Dragic and Andre Iguodala are only team options, so we can release them if we're trying to like make some space. But I don't see like Kawhi Leonard leaving LA, as you said. I don't see him leaving there, especially with seeing what they could have done with him. I just feel as if, and also the management's gonna really persuade him to stay, because they spent so much capital in terms of like the draft and players to get him and Paul George in LA, where it's like, if they lose him, it's not really a good sight in terms of like, the assets that they'll have moving forward, because they'll lose him for nothing. So I really don't think like people have been saying like we need a stretch four, and I wholeheartely agree with that, because we need a guy that can space the floor, unless Bam can develop a reliable jump shot, which we've seen like him increase his mid-range jumper and really use that efficiently this season, or at least more efficiently. And so he's really developed his game. I hope that Team USA like really brings him in terms of his development and rises that. But someone that can, unless he develops his own jump shot, we need someone that can space the floor. That's someone that like Jay Crowder that really like spaced the floor for us, was a guy that allowed us to play sort of small ball and defense last season, and really allowed us to break through in the NBA playoffs in the bubble last season. So we need someone like that again, because Trevor Ariza, he's aging and he's a veteran, in which he was providing us good minutes when like we first got him, but then kind of like tailored off. Dedmon's been great, but again, not a shooter. And these are guys in which they're great for the team, but we need someone that can be a reliable stretch four. So in terms of your question, I would say like, again, I wouldn't really trust the free agent market that much. I have seen Colin Sexton, just because he's been rumored to leave the Cavs, in terms of like just his relationship with the organization. People on the team reportedly called him a ball hog and all that stuff. So I think he would fit the Heat culture pretty well, and I see a lot of fans getting excited about that. And there's a package in which it sends him and Kevin Love, so that's something you could look into, just because I believe Kevin Love is on it expiring. I could be wrong about that, but I believe he is. So you give that a test run, see how that goes. And he's that guy you could plug in there. Although he is another veteran, it is the guy in which can help you win. And if it doesn't work, then so what? You gave it a shot 1 year. And then Colin Sexton is a guy that you bring in defensively, or not defensively so much, but definitely offensively. I think him is a sort of like a microwave scorer. That's a guy that can come in and really give you a lot of production there. And again, we just need guys that can score because our offense was not that great Defensively, I think we're fine, but definitely offensively, I think we need some improvement, especially in our backcourt with, I think, just inconsistency all season with like Tyler. We thought we were going to get more. With Goran, we thought we were going to get more. And just to kind of just, I mean, Kendrick Nunn, when he was put in there, like had a big stretch, like 20, 25 games where he was really going off when we had our COVID stuff, injury stuff. And so, yeah, I know I'm rambling, but just as far as like Colin Sexton, Kevin Love, I think that could be something you look into. Dame, I think, is more unrealistic just because of the packages I think teams will give for him. But again, I think that I would love Dame in Miami. I just don't know if like we'll have the necessary package that I think other teams will give for Dame. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with a lot of those. Kyle Lowry, in my opinion, is another guy that you could go after. I feel like he'd be pretty cheap because it feels like he's out of Toronto, and I'm not sure if he's a free agent, but either way, I think he's going to end up leaving Toronto because I think the Raptors, that core probably needs to be just exploded and restart over them, and they got their championship. So it'll be a definitely interesting offseason. I've said this a lot as well, too. It seems like the free agent class isn't very deep. So you're going to see a lot of trades happening and just a lot of different, moving parts in the NBA, just like every year. But just with this year, the free agency class not being as deep and as good. Thanks for listening to the Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and much more. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sports Town Podcast. If you want to check out more videos of the Sports Town Podcast, click on the right.